Good morning and welcome to the Met Report. It's Friday, February 2nd, and I'm Laryss Rodriguez.
And I'm Tyson Sintas. There's a lot to cover this spring semester having recently started, so let's see what's new on the Rary campus.
Friday is an important occasion for activism here on campus, as it marks Black History Month, a time to document the triumphs, struggles, and significant figures in African American culture.
Our reporter Noah Block went to a Black History Month kickoff event yesterday to see how the Rary campus is celebrating.
The timing of February as a period to remember and emphasize Black history started in the 1920s as a week-long event coinciding with Abraham Lincoln's birthday on the 12th and abolitionist Frederick Douglass's on the 14th. Since this was often overshadowed by Valentine's Day, however, activist groups and cultural centers for African Americans began to expand it to the whole second month of the year, and in the last 20 years or so, it has received official recognition from governments, schools, and businesses. MSU's kickoff event included tables from different Black organizations and fraternities on campus alongside food, drink, and coloring activities. I spoke with student activist Lucienne Ndutu about what Black History Month means to her.
Black History Month is all about celebrating Black excellence and the goals and the improvement and just celebrating the community in general and just being there and supporting each other. So Black Student Alliance is a student organization on campus, and we are here to provide support to Black students on campus and just bringing them together. We help with scholarships, with connection, networking, and we also create events that will help Black students improve their experience in college. We are having an event on April 17th. It's a Friday. It is from 7 to 11, and it will be on campus, and it's a Met Gala. It's the time where students everywhere in camp, CU Denver, CCD, MSU, DU, UCCS, so all those colleges are going to come together and just like have the experience of a red carpet. So we're going to have red carpets. People will be taking pictures of you. You're just going to have that nice, fun, famous experience. And the theme is Coming to America. So if you haven't watched that movie, definitely watch it so you can be ready. It's going to be turn up. We're going to turn up. It's going to be fun.
There will be many other events celebrating Black History Month here in Auraria and around Denver. For more information, check out the Center for Multicultural Engagement and Inclusion and stay up to date with our show where we'll continue to cover this moment.
303 Thrifty is bringing back their pop-up event, Thrifty University, to Auraria campus for students looking to step up their fashion game. The Auraria Quad was transformed into a bustling marketplace with rows of tables covered in secondhand clothing, shoes, accessories, and even local art. Students were able to browse racks filled with unique and affordable finds, all while enjoying the nice weather. Featuring everything from 90s trends, Y2K chic, secondhand clothing, pop culture fads, art prints, stickers, and more. This event has a little something for everyone. Thrifty University plans to host this pop-up event every second and last Thursday of each month. Be sure to head down and check it out if you're interested in sustainable vintage fashion and supporting local artists.
The Classroom to Career Hub kicked off the new semester by hosting the Student Employment Job Fair this past Wednesday, January 31st, in the Tivoli Multicultural Lounge. A unique opportunity to connect with on-campus employers actively seeking student talent. This event was designed to facilitate direct connections between students and on-campus departments actively seeking student employees, offering opportunities for on-campus employment. The fair is an avenue for students to explore potential roles and gain valuable work experience. For students navigating their transition from academic settings to professional ones, these events provide pathways for exploration and engagement. The Classroom to Career Hub regularly holds events like this one and the Workplace Equity Summit occurring on February 8th from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. in Tivoli 320. This one-day summit aims to foster community engagement, professional networking, and discussions on workplace equity practices within the Auraria campus community.
This past Tuesday, the Financial Aid Office hosted a FASA Workshop in Tivoli Room 440. This was an opportunity for students who needed help filling out the FAFSA form and scholarship applications. The workshop offered assistance with the FAFSA, which has undergone significant changes that students may not be aware of, such as fewer questions, and included videos with a digital assistant to help walk students through the process. The workshops also aim to help students with writing scholarship essays and ease stress in the process of applying for them. Be sure to bring your Social Security number, FSA ID, parents' or guardians' tax information, and copies of your most recent tax documents. If you missed this chance to receive help, there are more workshops that will be happening on February 7th, February 13th, February 20th, and February 28th. The times and locations are listed here. Coming up next,
the City of Denver extends a crucial income assistance program.
A look into the start of this year's legislative session.
Insights about MSU Denver softball as they head into the preseason.
All this and more after the break.
Welcome back. In a push for better working conditions, employees at the Denver Art Museum are on the path to unionization. Throughout January, workers sought higher wages, transparency, and improved safety measures. On January 11th, during an all-staff meeting, 33 union representatives officially declared their intent to form the Denver Art Museum Workers United. Faced with a choice, management decided to reject immediate union recognition, opting for a National Labor Relations Board vote instead. Last week, workers officially filed for an election with the NLRB, scheduled for March 6th and 7th. Museum management claims to support the democratic process, stating that an election allows all eligible employees to voice their opinions. The goal is to establish a wall-to-wall union representing employees across departments for stronger workplace solidarity. Approximately 250 people, including full-time, part-time, and temporary positions, are eligible according to the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. Supervisory roles, like the museum shop lead and group services lead, will be allowed to vote, but their eligibility for union membership remains undecided. Managers, guards, confidential employees, and NLRB-defined supervisors are excluded from union representation. If successful, the Denver Art Museum workers could join over 55 museums and 129 cultural institutions already represented by the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees.
Last week, the Denver Basic Income Project announced they will be extending their program through July of this year, helping to provide much-needed financial assistance to some of Denver's underprivileged residents. The project provides monthly payments of up to $1,000 to 800 of Denver's lowest income homes. Since launching in 2022, the program has provided over $4 million to families in need. And with a new $3 million donation from the Colorado Trust, funding can continue well into the new year. According to the program's director, Mark Donovan, the monthly stipends are used to help families pay off debt, make car repairs, secure affordable housing, and enroll in educational programs. In recent weeks, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has taken the situation on the southern border into his own hands.
Texas is now acting in defiance of President Biden with the aid of several other Republican-led states. Alex Petrich has more in the story.
The migrant surge along the U.S.-Mexico border reached its highest level in 2 decades in December of last year, with over 225,000 people seeking entrance to the United States, according to CNN. Of all states, Texas has experienced the greatest stress on its borders, leading to the state government operating independently of federal oversight. Texas authorities began installing razor wire in mid-January in an area called Eagle Pass along the U.S.-Mexico border. The Biden administration and Supreme Court have balked at this, citing it as an infraction of federal authority. But Governor Abbott has pledged to fight on against the federal rulings, citing that, quote, President Biden's reckless open border policies have created an ongoing crisis at our southern border as record levels of illegal immigrants and deadly drugs pour into Texas. I spoke with Dr. Robert Preuss, chair of the MSU Political Science Department, about what this means for President Biden, Governor Abbott, and the migrant community in the United States.
We ought to give folks an opportunity, right? And that's what our country's about in a lot of ways. On the other hand, we have the reality of an urban area in Denver in particular, but also Denver, more locally, but also throughout the country, that just simply can't, right, deal with the volume. That said, the majority of Americans are supportive of stronger border security. That is the element that Biden's being forced to deal with, and I probably prefer not to. Now, that also plays into Trump's arguments, right? And it also really plays into this notion of states' rights and having a federal government that's over-intrusive, and that's an issue and a concern that's at the core of Republican supporters. That said, right, a lot of this is posturing, and it fits the narratives of the two parties fairly well. You know, if Abbott is going to do something because the states need to do it because the federal government's not doing what they need them to do, that also then underscores this fear of a lot of conservatives that the federal government is overreaching, right, and taking control of their states' rights in a less ominous way, I think, than, say, states' rights were used in the South, but in a very similar way during the Civil Rights era. So,
For the Met Report, I'm Alex Petrich.
In December of 1975, a young woman named Terry Becker was found murdered in a field in Westminster. Now, there's finally a prime suspect. After decades of inconclusive investigations, the Westminster police were able to match a DNA sample to a man named Thomas Martin Elliott. And now, after nearly 50 years, the unsolved case of Terry Becker has been solved. Elliott had been convicted of burglary in Colorado just prior to Becker's death, and after committing suicide in Las Vegas in 1991, Westminster and Las Vegas police worked on collaboration to match up the DNA samples. With these advancements in DNA technology, Westminster PD hopes to solve more cold cases that have piled up over the years.
Well, I'm sure, as all of you have known, we've had some exceptional frosty days over winter break.
That's true, but it's been feeling anything but winter this past week.
In order to get a complete forecast, we now go to Cecilia Perez-Najera with the weather.
Thanks, guys. Well, for today's forecast, we are expecting a high of 56 with the wind coming in southeast at about 7 miles per hour and some cloudy weather. As we continue today, we are expecting things to get just a little chillier going into tomorrow, where things will definitely be getting a lot colder. We're expecting some snow and rain on Saturday with a high of 41 degrees. We will see things start to clear up on Sunday, however, with a projected high of 49 with some cloud coverage throughout the day, but also some sunshine. That's leading us into this next week, with those warmer temperatures are sticking around with a projected high of 49 on Monday. On Tuesday, we're seeing a projected high of 61 with some sunny and mild weather. Wednesday, a projected high of 58 with some cloud coverage and some sunshine as well. Thursday will be cloudy and cool with a projected high of 47, and Friday will be a projected high of 45 with some cloudy weather. That's all we have for you guys for this week on weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Cecilia. Well, Laryss, today is Groundhog Day, and you know what's special about this year?
What's special, Tyson?
The groundhog did not see a shadow.
Wow, so spring comes early.
Yeah.
That's funny because Cece just said it's supposed to snow tomorrow, so
I'll believe it when I see it,
I
I
guess
guess.
we'll see. Well, stick around. We'll be right back with politics. Welcome back. This is the segment where we delve into the world of government.
From the floor of Congress to right here on campus, this is the Met Report Political Rundown. Let's get started.
With a new legislative session ramping up, anticipation fills the Rocky Mountain air as lawmakers prepare to introduce laws and priorities in the state capitol.
That's right. Our reporter Miah Ntepp was there to give an exclusive sneak peek into the key issues that will dominate the upcoming session, including groundbreaking proposals and continuous debates.
I'm outside the Colorado Capitol where the 2024 legislative session has started. I was able to interview a few legislators to see what policies and platforms we have to look forward to this year. Let's take a look to see what they had to say. The Colorado legislative session began on January 10th of this month, and lawmakers are already beginning to introduce bills and policies into the state capitol. Hot button issues this year around Colorado health, working families, and economic inflation. I spoke with the Colorado legislators for a legislative preview to get insights into the policies that could shape the future of our Colorado communities and beyond.
What's up, everybody? This is State Senator James Coleman, representing Senate District 33, far northeast Denver. I also serve as the Senate President Pro Tem right here in the Senate, which you see right behind me. Really excited to also be the Vice Chair of the Black Caucus, alongside our Chair, Jennifer Bacon, who also serves in our district alongside Representative Harrod. We're in Denver, but we represent Boulder, we represent Aurora, we represent Colorado Springs, the entire state. Long story short, what am I working on? I'm working on policy that's going to make it so that our young people have opportunities for apprenticeships in high school that transition them into college so they can both get a higher ed degree while also getting an opportunity to get some work done, make some money for themselves. I'm also working on a bill that's going to provide funding for folks who are coming out of prison to be able to get $3,000 versus the $100 they get through a nonprofit that allows them to reenter back into society and have some support for housing and workforce development. Running a whole bunch of other stuff. But these are some of the bills that I get a chance to work on. Please come down and visit us at the Capitol. Shout out to my guy, Miah, making sure that we're educating folks about what we're doing here at the legislature, but we need you to come down and engage with us as well. Look forward to seeing you here at the Capitol during the session.
I spoke to State Senator Rhonda Fields, the chair of the Health and Human Services Committee. She stated that her priorities are on ensuring every eligible child, adult, and family has access to affordable health coverage that guarantees all necessary services. I also spoke to House Representative Mike Weissman, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. He spoke about his priorities addressing affordable housing and working on passing consumer protections to protect Colorado working families.
Folks who end up in the foster system often are in a very hard way. We want to make sure that they know what their rights are as they navigate those difficult places in life. We are going to be tackling the issue of lack of affordable housing. We have a bill about occupancy limits in committee today, and last week a bill on just cause eviction was introduced. It'll be heard in committee soon, and what that means is your landlord can't put you out for no reason.
For more information on the legislative session or to find your local legislator, go to www.leg.colorado.
AI has seen a huge spike in popularity and use in recent years. So much, in fact, that it can be easy to manipulate or completely fabricate someone's words. Colorado's Secretary of State wants to put an end to this spread of misinformation. Colorado Secretary of State Jena Griswold announced last Thursday in a news release her legislative priorities for 2024, one of them including a way to identify AI deepfakes. She introduced a bill that will require AI-generated media that features Colorado candidates or office holders have a disclaimer. The same policy follows for other AI-generated pieces like written works. Griswold stated that the reasoning for these disclaimers is that, quote, AI is a threat to American elections and may supercharge election disinformation through the use of deepfakes. She also stated this bill helps ensure Coloradans know when communications featuring candidates or office holders are deepfaked and will increase transparency. The bill is sponsored by Representatives Junie Joseph and Brianna Titone and Senators Chris Hansen and Janet Buckner.
It's Black History Month, and there has been a significant developments unfolding within the Colorado legislative chambers. A new bill in honor of the month has been sparked considerable popularity among constituents and policymakers alike. Our reporter Miah and Ntepp went to the Colorado Hill to investigate.
Here at the Colorado Capitol, where the State Military and Veterans Affairs are hearing SB 24-054. This is a racial disparities bill in which the state will track racial disparities and incorporate the data to address them. I was able to sit in on the full committee. Let's see what the legislators had to say. On Wednesday, the Colorado Black Caucus held a hearing announcing Senate Bill 24-053, the Racial Equity Study Bill, to be heard in the State Military and Veterans Affairs the first day of Black History Month, Thursday. The bill requires the State Historical Society to conduct a study to determine any historical and ongoing effects of slavery and to identify measures that are consistent with the Constitution to address those effects.
We're at the Capitol. We know that we have to pass bills that are data informed. Now, at the end of the day, as we look into our communities, as we look into our families and the history where we come from, we know anecdotally, we know just from lived experience about racial inequity. We know about the disparity.
This bill also specifically examines the areas of K-12 education, higher education, workforce training, housing, criminal justice, policing, healthcare, tax policy, and access to asset and wealth building. After the study is completed, the Commission will work to implement the recommendations from the report. To sign up to testify or to track this bill, go to www.ledge.colorado.gov.
On Monday, the Auraria campus hosted Yosef Haddad, a controversial Arab Israel activist who has spoken out in favor of Zionism. And his arrival was met with large protests of students. Haddad is a longtime pro-Israel speaker and writer who at a young age volunteered for the Israel Defense Forces and founded the nonprofit Together Vouch for Each Other, which promotes assimilation of Arabs into Israel society. Mr. Haddad has received significant criticism from human rights groups for his portrayal of the Israel-Palestine conflict. So it was no surprise that students flooded the outside of the Tivoli Student Union while he was speaking. Organizations across campus have been consistently showing their support for Palestine over the last few months, including in a series of chalk drawings in the space between the Tivoli and the PE building.
Well, that'll do it for our politics segment.
Stay tuned for sports with Brandi Rose after the break.
Hi everyone, I'm your sports guru Brandi Rose, here to give you the rundown on all the latest news on the field, rink, and court. Let's jump in. Baseball fans and players, if you're looking to be on a team and you're an MSU Denver student, then this is for you. This coming Monday and Tuesday, the 6th-ranked D2 club baseball team are going to be holding tryouts from 6:30 to 9 p.m. at the Roadrunner Athletic Complex. The club team is looking to increase their depth after losing several key players and going 9-0 in the fall season. MSU students who are passionate about baseball and want to balance athletics and academics from freshmen to seniors, grab a glove and a bat and get ready to play. For more information on MSU Club Baseball, be sure to check out their Instagram at MSU Denver Club BB. After sweeping this year's Big Mountain Classic 4-0, MSU Denver Hockey headed over to Utah to compete in the 2024 Summit Series, where they faced off against Utah Valley, Utah State, and Weber State. Coming off a dominant 7-2 victory over CU Boulder featuring not one, but 2 hat tricks from forwards Tanner Calderola and Matthew Clift. The Roadrunners hope to carry this momentum as they traveled west. In Game 1 versus Utah Valley, Metro sealed the shutout win, thanks to goalkeeper Caden Biaggi recording 22 saves on 22 shots, with their scoring drive being led by forwards Braden Greenwood, TJ McLeod, and Nathan Jaramillo, who buried 2, securing their first win to open up the weekend. In Day 2, the Roadrunners took on Utah State, beating the host school 3-1, featuring goals from forwards McLeod, Calderola, and Christian Brown, with goalie Dylan Romano racking up 27 saves, boosting them to 2-0. Rounding out the third and final day, MSU Denver edged out Weber State 3-2 in a close battle that showcased the Roadrunners' fast-paced play on both ends of the ice. McLeod put MSU on the board first, recording his 3rd goal in 3 days. And while the Wildcats held the 1-point lead after one, defenseman Sam Miller tied up the game entering the 3rd. And forward Christopher Miller hit the go-ahead goal, locking up the Roadrunners' undefeated status on the weekend. MSU Denver is back on the ice tomorrow versus DU for their final conference game of the season. For extended coverage on Roadrunner hockey, be sure to check out the Met Report YouTube channel. Your MSU Denver athletes have a pretty busy weekend on the road coming up, with softball taking on Washburn, Kansas, Texas Tyler, Texas A&M International, Angelo State, and Texas Women's to start their season opener before they head back to Denver for their home opener against St. Mary's. Baseball is also on the road in Oklahoma, where they'll face off against Northwestern Oklahoma State in a 3-game series, before returning for their home opener Thursday with another series versus Biola. Men's and women's basketball is also on the road this weekend at Adams State and then at Fort Lewis. Meanwhile, men's tennis will be hitting the court with Nebraska Kearney, while women's tennis plays Hastings, and both teams will match up against Augustana and Newman. And bringing us home, we've got indoor track and field competing in the Western Colorado Open and the Bruce Lehan Scarlet and White Invitational. Well, it's that time of year, folks. Spring is approaching quickly, and our reporter Laryss Rodriguez made her way to the Diamond to give us a preseason report on our very own MSU softball team.
Spring season is finally here, and MSU Denver women's softball is ready to showcase all of their hard work from this past offseason. The Lady Roadrunners are eager to start this spring season and have had more than enough time to prepare. As we take a look into last year's season, the team finished 34-22 overall and 29-13 in the RMAC. The team finished 3rd in the RMAC tournament after getting sent home by Colorado Mesa in Game 3 of this series, which ended their 2023 season.
We returned everybody from last year, so I think our key is using all the experience this group has gained the last 2 years. The last 2 years, we were pretty young, and they were working on experience at the college level, and I feel like they've been through a lot as a group, and so now it's just kind of using that and kind of picking up where we left off with that later in the season. Yeah, continue to grow off that. Like we should be mature. We have some good leadership. So utilizing the things that we do have with that experience. We want to win the RMAC championship, and we want to be playing in NCAA postseason. You know, that's something they talk about and they really want, and that's something that's motivated them through all the practices and off-season work. So that's a big one. And then I think also just kind of being the best version of ourselves every day as we can be, you know, continue to grow and be positive and hard workers. For us, it's to go out there, play with fun and an excitement, and kind of play free, you know, don't worry about the what ifs.
Some statistical leaders we saw last season was now senior Shelby Robb, who led a batting average of .377 and a .420 on base percentage. According to this year's potential lineup, we should see Robb hitting number 3. This offseason, the girls have been in the cages and on the fields putting in the extra work to showcase this upcoming season.
Not a ton that we have to change, you know, it's just tuning up a lot of the little things that we have to work on, which has been a process, but I'm pretty comfortable with where we're at and how hard we worked during the off season, not only just in the fall, but also over break, through winter break. I feel like we've worked pretty hard as a group on just a bunch of little things that, you know, you could always improve on. I'm pretty confident I'll be done after this. I'm ready to, you know, kind of live a life outside of sport, I guess you could say, but I'm excited for it. You know, this is a great group of girls, and I couldn't dream of a better way for it to, you know, start to end, I guess. But yeah, I'm really excited.
The home opener for this 2024 softball season will take place Friday, February 9th at the Athletic Complex. Today, the team is in Texas to start their tournament weekend against Washburn and Texas Tyler. For the Met Report, I'm Laryss Rodriguez.
That's all we've got for this week, but stay tuned for updates on any and all of your favorite teams as they pop up on our YouTube channel. Once again, I'm Brandi Rose, kicking it back over to the desk.
Thank you, Brandi. It was really fun and cool to see how the MSU softball team has prepared their way for this season, and I'm really excited to see what they do. What was your favorite story this week, Tyson?
I think I found most interesting that the Secretary of State wants to put a disclaimer on AI, considering, you know, that's getting everywhere now. And I find it interesting that now people are finally putting like some sort of way to know that, hey, this is AI, this could be fake.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll see what happens with that, but I mean, it's scary. It's like taking over.
Right.
We'll see, but thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next week, but until then, go to mymetmedia.com for information on our newscast.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Goodbye and have a nice weekend, everyone.